This DIY dehydrator is super simple, and you can create this on a very small budget. It's a matter of a box fan. You're going to start with a clean box fan, and you're going to create this no heat dehydrator to match the dimensions of your box fan. So you want to start with a brand new box fan because you're going to be using this on food items. Now, we have never used this for meat. We are mushroom growers, so we use this to dehydrate mushrooms and herbs and produce. We love this dehydrator. And you can create as many drying racks for your dehydrator. You can make it as tall or as short as you would like. So there's choices here, and so many choices when it comes to the materials. So you can absolutely add a filter on top of the box fan. And I actually was able to get some really good, high quality filters that were strips, small rectangular strips that I could place right on top of the fan. So you can absolutely put a filter on top of that fan as it sends the air all the way through, dehydrating without heat and then out through the bottom. So first things first, buy a brand new box fan and get one that you can replace. Now, we live in a very warm climate, so box fans are everywhere. They're $15 to $30. So it doesn't matter what size and dimension our box fan and our dehydrator is, you're going to build these wooden squares to fit your box fan. So I highly suggest you get a box fan that's readily available that you can replace, and a super simple box fan. We turn it on the highest setting to send the most air down through all of the drying racks. And then you're going to need to make a base. So start with these squares, and you can make a series of these wooden squares depending on how many different drying racks you want. But one of the squares will be your base. Now, you could put screen on your base and use it as a drying rack. We didn't do that. We wanted our base to lift it up off of the ground so that it would get a nice airflow flowing all the way through and up and around. So we put our dehydrator out in a very clean area of our garage, and we make sure it's clean before we turn it on. And it's going to send the air out through the bottom. So having the base is really important for the airflow, but we only made it about 6 inches tall. So it's not really tall, it's just enough to get airflow to send it out the bottom. And then again, I do put filters on top, and you can search for different filters to go on your box fan if that's something that you're interested in. So the drying racks, it depends on how much you're going to be dehydrating. And we actually created 4 drying racks and the base, which would give us actually 5 total racks, but we've only used 3. So we never made the base into a rack, and we didn't use the extra square that the husband built. My husband, of course, built all of this. And this is the wood that we used. And again, 4 pieces of wood to make your square, and you're going to use a screw to hold those 4 pieces of wood together. And those 4 pieces of wood will match the dimensions of your box fan. And then you're going to put handles on these drying racks to make the racks easy to lift up and down. We highly suggest the handles, and you can see ours don't match. We had some that we used, and then we grabbed an extra one from the hardware store that was on clearance. They don't have to match. You just want to be able to pick your racks up. Now, the last part is your mesh, the screen. We used a metal mesh, a metal screen from the hardware store. There's so many to choose from. Now, we could have done this so much better, and I'm going to share with you how you could do this better than what we've done here with the mesh. Now, it works. However, that metal mesh, when we were staple gunning it around the wood, it was painful. We ended up using gloves, and you can see that we have some strips of tape along one edge because it was just really painful. It'd get caught on our shirt when we were lifting it up and putting it down. And so when you cut your mesh, that's metal mesh. So we cut it, and we should have put a strip of tape. You could use any kind of tape, paint tape, duct tape, masking tape. This clear tape is not the best. So you could get a tape that folds, and you could fold it around the edge of the metal mesh, and it would probably make it easier to staple gun around. And you absolutely want to staple gun the mesh on the bottom of your drying rack and have it wrap around the outside just like this. But again, we highly recommend that you find a solution to this raw metal edge here because it is painful. And I think if you were to finish it with a nice tape, and again, that would help you with staple gunning it. So you're going to need screws. You can see that those 4 pieces of wood, we use screws. And then you're going to need the staple gun with your mesh here. Now you can see the tape. It didn't really stay all that well, but you know what? It's worked for us. So one side does have tape on it so that it doesn't get caught on our shirt or scratch us. It's so easy, and it really is a matter of your box fan. So at this point, when you're finished, all you're going to need is one outlet for your plug, and you're going to want to turn it on high, and it's no heat. This is all you need for your dehydrator. So get your box fan. You can get a filter for it if you want. You're going to need the wood and the measurements. You're going to need the screws and the staple gun to get your mesh on, and then your handles. See you in the next video.